Good day, Explora Bookworms. We're here again at the biggest and most prestigious and most anticipated book fair of all time, the historical London Book Fair 2026. Now on, I think this is already on its 300th year, and we are here with the people from the industry of publishing and literature, and we're so proud that Explora Books is here in the middle of the hustle and bustle of London. And now today, we are featuring books here at the booth 6F108. And if you have the time this afternoon, you can still pass by, greet our authors. There's still more books we're distributing for free. Imagine that. Take note, it's for free, and the authors themselves have flown all the way, most of them from the United States, to be here to meet their readers and to also meet people from the same industry of publishing. They're all here within one roof, only here at the London Book Fair. So Explora Books is located again at 6F108. Please do visit us because we have a beautiful booth, if I could only show you right now. But right here, since this is not the time to showcase a booth, but to showcase an author who has written a very compelling story about Marlene Tulloch. The story that will inspire and motivate a lot of people. That's all written under one book title called The Sins of the Parents. And I'm so glad and honored to have with us not only an author, but a close friend of ours that we so love, and that is our very own Claudette McLennon. Hello, Claudette.
Hello, Joel. How are you?
I'm good. And this is the second time that you've been with us in a book fair. How is London so far for you? Is this your first time?
Yes, it's my first time here,
Okay.
and it's amazing. And that's my nephew passing by.
It's okay. I'm a neighbor. Okay. And then how is it, the experience here in London? Book fair.
Well, it's different from Frankfurt in a way. Hard to describe. You know, the crowds are here, the sights are here, and all that. But it's somehow still different. I guess the people, the attendees who are here, they're here. I met a lot of nice people here, and I have formed a little attachment with some of them. Right
That's
now.
very
Yes.
Now, Sins of the Parents, this has been around for less than a year, I think, published with Explora,
Yeah.
as it's published with Explora. Now, talk to us about Sins of the Parents. I know this is about Marlene, and this is a story of resilience. Someone who weathered all the storms and challenges of her life, the struggle of a young woman who was born in a place in such a bad environment somehow, but she manages to really work so hard and achieve her dreams. Talk to us about her life.
Okay, when we meet Marlene, she's at age 12. And as the book evolves, you get to see the background of Marlene, that she lost her mother within 10 days of being born.
Yeah.
She's reared by her grandmother, Estrella. But Estrella, very mean person. But you can sort of understand her a little bit of empathy because she loved Marlene's mother. She doted on her. And to lose her, she just didn't have the capacity to forgive Marlene for being alive while the mother was dead. Okay, that being said, she never grew to love Marlene as a child. She still had that anger and that animosity, and that's what led her to be cruel. However, Marlene had a teacher that was kind to her, and she found friends. But before all that, she was isolated in school. She was known as the child that killed her mother. So she had that burden. She had the burden of her grandmother being very mean to her. And once she violated Marlene, that was a turning point. And that was the height of cruelty. And Marlene's one hope, one desire was to get away from her grandmother. She felt that if she could get a scholarship to go to high school and away from the country to Kingston and to live with the older sister, then her problems would be over. However, she did get the scholarship because she was a bright child and she went to live with her sister in Kingston. But her sister was married and the husband had a roving eye. So he tried to rape Marlene. So it was in that context when she was crying and she said, but I'm only 12 years old. What could I have done that all these bad things happened to me?
Yes.
My mother, who gave birth to me, didn't stick around to even see me grow up.
Yeah.
My father left when I was 2 years old. My grandmother hated me. And now I'm here with my sister and the husband is trying to rape me. What could I have done? I'm only 12.
Yeah.
And she said it must be sins of the parents. However, because of the kindness of people that she knew, teachers and friends, Marlene survived. She went to college, got her teaching diploma, and she met and married Wayne, the love of her life, and she has 4 children.
Wow. She
Yes.
survived all.
And she survived all of this. But it wasn't an independent survival. She had to depend on the goodness and the kindness of people.
Yes.
And that's why in life, we cannot give up.
Yep.
And everything is not dark. There's always light. There was always a light that was flickering. And that's what she held on to. And because of her friends, she had a friend, Janet, from they were, and right up, Janet was always there for her and helped to propel her into the future, to encourage her. Do not lose focus. Do not lose your dream. You always wanted to be a teacher because Marlene had stopped after she graduated high school. She had become discouraged because of all the attention for the attempted rape of her brother-in-law. And Janet was like, don't lose focus. This is what you said you wanted it for so long. Go ahead and do it. And she did.
It is a story of not giving up your dreams, and you know, sometimes it may feel like, okay, I have to like drop everything, right? If you go through these kinds of violation of your rights as a woman, and you go through, you went through hell. She went through hell from the very beginning when she was born, and you know, she survived. She thrived, in fact, right?
Yeah.
So this is very relevant, Claudette, with Women's Month, right? I mean, I think a few days ago we celebrated the Women's Day,
Yes.
and right now we're still in the month of women. And so I think this is very relevant for all the women out there, even men, of course, who want to learn from the lessons of Marlene. It's for all ages, am I right?
Yes.
Of course, not for kids, but
Yeah.
because it talks about violence. However, for teenagers,
Yes, for teenagers, I was just, all right. Feedback that I've gotten from people, it sort of made me think, sit up and think, although it's fictional through and through, but just the response. And after Frankfurt and some of the comments that I got, I had to go home and I had to talk to my minister. And he said to me, this is fiction to you, it's reality for a lot of people.
Yes,
He said, what you don't realize, people are living
yes,
this.
that's true.
And, you know, so that's their reality. So it made me stop and think. And like you said, everybody should and can learn from this. Sometimes we walk by people and we don't know what their stories are. Because when Marlene got married and she had her children, she was a very successful teacher. You know, she impacted a lot of lives. Children gravitated towards her and she felt good. She was put on boards to do curriculum development and all of that. But nobody knew what she went through to get to that point.
Yes, yes. And it's also amazing that for the people, sometimes we meet people, we feel like, oh, you are successful, you are already very much independent, and we can see the strength in them, but you never know what they have been through, right? It's also a lesson of understanding other people, and you know where they're coming from. Am I right? Because who knows, they go through a lot. But now I'd like to sit back and now go through the story of how you came up with this story. I know that this is a fictional character, but this happens to everyday women, in a lot of women. But tell us about how you formulated the story of sins of the parents.
Okay, I did hear something from somebody about a grandmother who was cruel to a child.
Yes.
At the time, I was looking for something to write. Because this is my first book. So I'm like, I needed something impactful. I needed something that will grab attention. And so I said, okay, just from what I heard about the cruelty, I sat down and I said I wanted to write something that would make people listen, would make people take notice. And I wanted it to be so ingrained in them that once they hear it, they don't forget it, and it would always be there. And of course, I prayed about it, and halfway through writing it, I'm like, you are crazy. And I stopped, and I spoke to a friend, and she said to me, Claudette, this book is not about you.
Yeah.
You got an assignment from God, go write that book.
Yeah.
I said, thank you, and I finished the book. Because at one point I didn't know, where are you going with this book? Where are you going with this story? And after I spoke to her and she said to me, it's not about you. You are putting yourself in that book. Get out of it. And I said, thank you. And I went back in prayer and I said, Lord, forgive me, but steer me where I should go with this.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So it's not just, I just got up and wrote it like that. I did pray about it, and I said, I asked that the book be well known, well read all over by different people, by country, ethnicity, and all that. And that's what I'm hoping still.
And that's why we're here in London right now.
Yes. I need it out there because from the feedback I got in Germany, and when somebody said to me, you write as if you know my family. And this other young girl, I don't even think she was 21. And she said to me, oh, that sounds like something my mother would do. I really had to go home and talk to my minister. I had to, because I'm saying this is all fiction. I didn't expect anybody to relate that closely to it.
Yes.
So that concerned me. So I went.
People are living it, right?
Yes. And that's what my minister said. Yes, it's fiction to you, but it's reality to somebody else.
All fine, right? And as long as we get values from it, we get something to take away from the story of Marlene.
Yeah.
And of course, she didn't stay where she was. She actually succeeded. All these challenges and turmoil that happened in her life. And so it is a challenge for everyone that whatever you're going through, you can make it, as long as you persevere. Now, one thing is, what I love about your book is its very controversial title. The title is controversial, Sins of the Parents. And when you say sins of the parents, we always are told to respect our parents and be good to them. But when you say sins of the parents, I know not all parents are perfect, right? But can you forgive your parents? I mean, if you are Marlene Tulloch, if you're the character, can you find it in your heart to forgive your parents for the sins that they have committed? Controversial question.
Yeah, but it's only through growth and maturity. And when you can sit back and you can look, because as you grow, you're supposed to evolve. And you know that everything is not black and white.
Okay.
That's the first thing. But nothing is all bad.
Okay.
There's always that light, that little glimmer of hope. And that's what Marlene found. Because meanwhile, her grandmother was so horrible, there was this teacher, Miss Cameron, who was so kind to her, So there you have the contrast. You have Miss Myrtle, who used to look out for her because she knew that she was an orphan and that the grandmother wasn't the best of person, and would call her in and say, here is something, give her something to eat. And, just those little treats.
Yes.
So she was able to see that there was a difference. Not everybody is evil, not everybody is bad, and that there was kindness. And there is also her friends who treated her well. So it was that. So she had to grow up knowing that not everybody is like grandma.
Yeah.
And she found that out early, that not everybody, because those adults that would call her, fix her, give her this to eat, give her that, and give her special treats and stuff that the other children didn't get.
Yeah.
She knew there was a difference. Yes.
And there are bad people, but there are more good people than bad, right?
Yes.
So you have to believe in the power of humanity, right? There's kindness in humanity.
Yes.
So that's exactly one of the messages of this book. Now, this is not the only book that you've written, right? But that you've written a lot of books already. But for the LBF 2026, she features Sins of the Parents. This is one of the best that she has. But talk to us about the other books that you've written very quickly. What is the other 1, 2, 3?
Okay. I have done Let Go, and this is Madison. It's about Madison, and she lost her mom to cancer. She was about 17, her first year in college. She was going to NYU, and she was very angry, but she grew up knowing, and I put knowing, that her father died in Desert Storm, because that was the story at the time. However, the day of her mom's funeral, only to find out he's alive and stuff. And she's like, really, Lazarus, at this point? Go back to X, Y, and Z where you were. I don't need you. And she said, she turned on God and she said, what sort of justice is this? I grew up without a dad, and now my mother is dead, and now Lazarus is here. No, I don't want anything to do with him. So that's the conflict there, for her to reconcile and get friendly with her God, with her dad. And then you have Full Circle, 18-year-old who was raped by like 5 members of the football team, and who got away with it because they were not convicted of it. So here she is, she's shattered. She had to delay going to college. She had to go through a year of therapy in order to more or less have a semblance of normalcy. But her determination is this: she's gonna let them pay. So here comes Full Circle, book 2, The Return. 10 years later, she's going back for them. And she got them. Yes, revenge. And she got them.
This is like a Hollywood movie, a Hollywood story right there, Full Circle. So we'll just make sure that all our viewers have the QR code of that. So we have now the QR code of Sins of the Parents on your screen. And then after that, the other one, which is Full Circle.
And then Full Circle 2 is The Return. And I have
Martha Renee.
Yes, I have Women of Passion 1, and Martha Renee, Women of Passion 2. Young girl, was a model, got pregnant, hid their pregnancy, ran away from home, changed her identity. Didn't know that she was having twins, but she had already signed one baby over for adoption without telling her parents. And then the day of her delivery, she had a very rough delivery because she had previously tried to abort the baby and complications, so she had the baby. Without prenatal care, she didn't know she was having twins. The day of her delivery, she found out that there was a second baby. And during the fog and pain and everything, she said she heard the baby cry. And they tried to convince her the baby was stillborn, and she said, "Stillborn, don't cry." So that was another story. She grew up with some ladies, 6 other ladies in a group home, and they formed this group called WASP, Women Against Sexual Predators. Yes, and there's 2 of the persons in that group home. They were like 12 and 13 years old, all impregnated by adult men, 25 and 30 years old. So they formed this group and they plan to rid New York City of those predators.
Yes. And to
However, before they did a lot, but one of the persons that was a predator was a judge. Very suave, nice, well thought of, popular, and in his act of, he was a pedophile,
imagine it's a judge
and he's a judge.
biased on, you know.
So the young girl that he was molesting, was 14 years old. She killed him, and Martha knew who it was, and she decided to protect the girl. And in turn, she ended up being charged for the murder of the judge. Went to prison for it for 10 years. And then for parole, she got off parole. But she also wanted to clear her name. So that's why Martha Renee, at the end of Women of Passion, she is released from prison.
Yeah.
And then here comes Martha Renee. This is her second life. She changed her life. She became a minister. She got married, but the conflict is with her mother, because now, being a Christian, she has to tell her mother, Mom, I got pregnant, I had children. They were adopted. So the mother is very upset and they go to court. She wants rights to visit, but the child is adopted. And she's like, there's adoption, Mom, you can't do that. She said, to hell with that. That's not my issue. My grandchild is here, I have to see. So you have that going on. So it was a lot. Plus, it was the daughter that was legally adopted. The son was stolen by the doctor who treated her. So it's all that, but she's getting visions of her daughter, but she doesn't know it's her daughter. And she follows the vision to Prospect Park to meet this young girl. Come to find out, daughter is in need of a kidney.
Yeah.
And that was all that. But you have to read it to see the twists and turns in that.
Story,
and then the son, she had located her son when he was a baby, and she actually took care of him for 2 years. And so she had that bond with the son, but she never revealed. And it was at the point where she felt that she was going to run away with him, she stopped being the babysitter and she left. But she always knew where he was. And now it's to carry everything together, but you'll have to read it to see how she managed to fight with the mother, but still reconcile, and everybody coming together, and she reunites the family in the end.
That's exciting. And I'm ready to read all of those books. And I think you should, all our Explora bookworms right now, buy a copy of The Sins of the Parents and all other books of Claudette McLennon on Amazon. We have a QR code on display on the screen right here on YouTube, or you also can see the links on below the description box of YouTube video, so that you can go right straight to the Amazon link, and it gets delivered anywhere in the world. We're available. Amazon is available for distribution in any country, 100 countries, in fact. So get your copy now. Thank you very much, Claudette, for your time. And we wish you success. Explora Books is all behind you on this journey to becoming a New York Times bestseller or whatever we imagine. There's a lot of possibilities in the horizon right now for you. So keep it up. Good job. And we'll continue distributing the books here at London Book Fair. Bye for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.